Okay. All right.
Bonnie Ghani, everyone. This is Professor Rahh, Professor Emeritus at California State University of Long Beach, former city councilman for the city of Compton, former Compton College Board of Trustees, and former Compton Unified School District. Also retired professor from Compton Community College, where I taught ethnic studies, psychology, and history. And at Cal State Long Beach, I taught African American studies or Black studies. Well, also my co-host, Joe Hembrick, longtime coach, PE teacher, and a high school administrator, vice principal, coordinator of student activities and everything that had to deal with youth. One of the most premier historians that ever walked this earth with regards to understanding the Ma'at spiritual perspective, as well as ancient history, and just a prolific reader of our history and culture. We want to thank Brother Rahh Maskani for his contribution of letting us have this platform for a podcast, and his work and contribution, along with some of the listeners, Brother Mashinda, as well as the good doctor that are consistent listeners and courageous questioners of the Conscious Corner, as well as the Community Education Network. As the motto of Rahh Maskani says, each one teach one. We have a very special guest today. That guest is Brother Harold Welton. He is one of the members, if not with the leaders of a coalition, the Free, Ruchell Magee, who has been locked down for 58 years. And he's going to tell us all about that issue, and we can, as well as the issue of political prisoners. I think Andrew Young, when he was appointed ambassador to the United States, he said that America has plenty of political prisoners. So let's go ahead with Brother Harold. He's going to tell you more about himself, more about the coalition movement, and more about Brother Ruchell Magee and their issues and their concerns for not just Ruchell, but for political prisoners, period. So, Brother Ruchell, Brother Harold, will you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you, and at the same time, get into what you think is very important information we should know about what we can do for those who want to help contribute to the coalition to free Ruchell Magee. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, my name is Harold Welton. Thank you, everybody, for having me a part of your show. I grew up in Los Angeles in the projects, Pueblo del Rio projects and the Almond Gardens. I went to, 3 high schools: Fremont, got kicked out of Fremont, went to Manual Arts, got kicked out of there, and graduated from Jordan in the summer of 1968. I became a member of then the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, later the Student National Coordinating Committee, inspired by Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, Jamil Alamein. I was in SNCC until June 1969. SNCC took a position against Zionism in 69 and were defunded, if you will. 1969, the fall, I went to East LA College, became a part of the Black Student Union there. At the time, it was headed by a brother by the name of Melvin X Williams, who was assassinated in May 1970. December 1969, after the 41st and Central shootout, I became a member of the Black Panther Party Southern California chapter. And that was until June of 1971. And there was the FBI orchestrated so-called split in the party. In August of 1970, after attending George Jackson's memorial service, me and another comrade on the way home, we decided we wanted to start an organization in the neighborhood that we grew up in, which was the Avalon Garden Projects. And we called that our organization the Jonathan Jackson Educational Cadre. And we had the George Jackson Karate Program. We had reading program, free breakfast program. We would show political films with the reel-to-reel projectors at night to the youth on people's houses, walls. That was from 71 to 73. Then I started working for LAUSD in 1975. They fired me because I lied about my record. It took me a year to expunge 3 convictions. Started off as a B&G worker and retired as an air conditioning and heating fitter, journeyman. And currently I teach part-time the trade online for the adult school system. I have 4 daughters, or well, I call them 4 parents now, but I love them all. But a member of Black August Los Angeles and the Coalition to Free Magee. So, can I give the backstory now of Ruchell?
Go ahead.
Okay. Ruchell Magee was born March 17th, 1939 in Franklinton, Louisiana. When he was 16 years old, he was a cute guy. We all know that when we say the Ku Klux Klan, it could be anywhere in this place, but he was in Ku Klux Klan infested Franklinton, Louisiana. He was accused of attempted rape of a married white woman who was 23. And he went to Angola prison, a former plantation, which is the youngest to ever go to prison in Angola. He was captured for 7 years. He came to Los Angeles in 1963 after being paroled. 3 months after that, he was charged along with his cousin with the robbery of a $10 bag of marijuana and alleged kidnapping of the, as we used to call them, dope dealers. He went to prison in California. August 7th, 1970, 17-year-old Jonathan Jackson, armed, went into a courtroom, and his political military move was to free what was called the Soledad brothers, George Jackson, Fleeta Drumgo, and John Couchette. They were accused of correcting a guard, if you will, in January of 1970. That occurred because there were 3 new African prisoners that were killed on the San Quentin yard, and that was Alvin Miller, Cleveland Edwards, and W.L. Nolan. About a week after that, a guard was found corrected in retaliation for the murder of the 3 prisoners. A note was pinned to his uniform saying 1 down, 2 to go. Maybe a week after that, George Jackson, Frida Drumgo, and John Cruchette were indicted for allegedly correcting this guard. And a movement developed out of that. Angela Davis was a primary figure in that, Frida Soledad brothers. Jonathan Jackson, he became a part of that movement when he was 16 years old. Okay, so we go back to August 7th, he goes in the courtroom and takes it over, and he was armed. And he said, Frida Soledad brothers by 12:30. He gave weapons to those that wanted to get free. And one of them was Ruchell Magee, James McLean, and William Christmas. When they came out of the courtroom, they were martyred with the so-called prison mandate never to allow prisoners to escape. And in doing so, the guards martyred, well, they killed a judge and wounded a district attorney and 3 other jurors. So a month later, Ruchell was charged with conspiracy to murder, and aggravated kidnapping. Angela Davis, we got the same charges for allegedly supplying the weapons. Well, because there was a mass movement and free Angela Davis, Angela was acquitted of all charges. Ruchell was acquitted of 2 of the charges, conspiracy to murder and murder. And it was a hung jury in the first trial on the aggravated kidnapping. Well, during the second trial, the state said that, well, if you don't cop to the aggravated kidnapping, we're going to charge you again, right? So unwillingly, through his lawyers, alleged lawyers at that time, Ruchell pleaded guilty to aggravated kidnapping, but he withdrew the plea. And ever since that time, Ruchell has been petitioning the court, filing writs, basing his reason for participating in the August 7th rebellion. He based it on Cinque and Tume, who was kidnapped from the motherland in the early 1800s. Him and his comrades were captured, Cinque were captured near Cuba and were brought to this place, and they were charged with different alleged crimes. Eventually, their case went to the United States Supreme Court. The Supreme Court in that trial said that a slave has the right to rebel. And Ruchell has been basing his petitions and writs on that he had the right to rebel because he was illegally captured before the case that he was charged here in Los Angeles. What are we doing, the coalition? We've got over 32,000 signatures to release Ruchell Magee, plus last count was 1,700 plus petitions directly to the governor. And we also have, I think, 1,200 letters that go directly to the governor's office. Right now, we're focusing on clemency. We're having people in different formations and organizations pushing to have Ruchell's case brought to a clemency. And I don't know if I said this, we met with the governor's legal staff twice, and they wasn't talking about nothing. And the district attorney down here, and we haven't challenged. They want to see his record in prison, and we haven't challenges getting the record. But again, right now we're focusing on clemency and people being aware of Ruchell, all political prisoners, but Ruchell Magee is one of the less, I hate to put it like this, not like he's in competition, but he's one of the lesser known political prisoners in this part of the world. So we've been pushing that. We've been working with different formations. And last week, BLM, and I hope we were able to do it, BLM is going to pay for us getting a billboard put on up on Slauson near Overhill, near that 7-Eleven, close to Simply Wholesome. So we've been communicating with Ruchell. Ruchell still has that fire. We're trying to focus on Ruchell. Keep that fire when you get out. We're trying to get him out. And then, you know, be Ruchell. But Ruchell is 82 years old. He'll be 83 in March the 17th. We did research. We found out that the average time for murder in California is 45 years. So we look at the political nature of Ruchell Magee, 58 years and counting, 59 soon, for aggravated kidnapping. So that's where we are now with Ruchell.
Right. Man, that was deep information and detail. We're going to start with Brother Mashinda. Mashinda, you have any questions up to this point? Brother Mashinda?
All right, good evening. Yeah, I'm like you. It's real deep, you know. Appreciate Brother Harold coming on tonight. Let us know what transpired, what's going on. You know, they like to salute the military all the time, but Brother Harold, I want to thank you for your service, you know, your input. You know, a lot of times the soldiers that came before us don't get their credit, you know, but, you know, I'm familiar a little bit, but you're making me more familiar with what's going on with that. And that little town you was talking about, Franklinton, I'm very familiar with Franklinton. Right now, I'm standing probably about 25 minutes from Franklinton right now.
All right, okay.
So you know, I've been on the yard at Angola about at least twice. You know, on tour, of course, never had to serve myself, but you know, like you say, life's not over. You know, you can be railroaded into all kind of obstacles, but you know, that's it's real. You know, you know, some people think, oh, it's a conspiracy theory or this, that, and the third, but you know, but I respect what you're saying, and like I say, that you know, the prison system is an enterprise. You know, it's not only enterprise, it's a you know, it's a you know, it's a machine that's in place. You know, it's an extermination machine. You know, and but anyway, you know, I want to continue to listen to what you have to say, and appreciate you coming on tonight.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, Brother Machine. Well, the good doctor.
Yeah, I agree with Machinda. Very interesting story. You know, I heard of George Jackson and the Solidarity Brothers. And I was just looking up the Ruchell brother here, kind of trying to get more information. I'm just curious. You think you said 58 years? one, I want to know why was the parole denied each time he went? And it's kind of funny because I know for a fact one of the females from the SLA got paroled out back in 2007, 2008.
Right.
I know that for a fact. I know
Right.
that she got out, and I'm sure how she got out, and he didn't get out. And SLA, I think, was, they were a terrorist group before we know what terrorism is now. They
Right.
were the big terrorist group back there, and a lot of cops died on the street, the Patty Hearst thing, and she got out, and why he didn't get out. So hopefully go more into details. So
Yeah.
listening.
All right. If we can go back to August 7th, 1970, I don't like to say Marin County, but for lack of better word, Marin County slave rebellion. The move that George Jackson's younger brother, Jonathan, carried out was very profound. You have a 17-year-old armed to the teeth going inside of a courtroom and making that type of move. He wasn't crazy, he wasn't drunk, he was very focused. Well, at that time, there was a photographer there, and he saw what was going on, and they asked Jonathan and the others, could they take pictures? He take pictures, and he said, yeah. He said, we are the revolutionaries. And you probably have seen the pictures. And they were very profound to see that happen. And this was before metal detectors in courtrooms, et cetera. Then again, this is George Jackson, author of Soledad Brothers and Bloodline, uncompromising in the way he organized and the way his understanding of struggle, liberation is, he was uncompromised. So his brother was martyred August 21st, 1971. So and then the activities around Angela Davis. And we look at the fact that here's, again, we talked about the SLA. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, one of the Manson girls was paroled. But Ruchell has been up for parole 18 times. His last being in July of last year, and he was denied parole. And the theme was, well, there's still a possibility. There's 80 at the time, 82-year-old man who we believe is on a walker. The possibility of a threat, right? But it's political. We believe that we know that the guards this guard association are making moves to prevent that. And judges in California. The footnote on us organizing, we've been organizing the coalition since 2019. In March of last year, we had tri-city protests here in Los Angeles, Marin County, and Sacramento. Oh, and then up at prisons up in Northern California. I can't think of the name of it right now. And one of the one of the soldiers involved, he had been in prison, and he was arrested for being on prison grounds, Vacaville, where Ruchell is held. That's where it was, Vacaville, without the alleged permission from the warden. Well, he got charged with that. And through discovery from his attorney, we found out that the guards, they have a so-called prison intelligence unit. The guard intelligence unit said that the coalition was terrorists and disgruntled, the whole 9 yards, right? Eventually, the brother was freed on the charges. So we know for sure that the guards are pushing to keep Ruchell, well, to kill him, let him die in prison. And the judges, you know, they know each other. They know each other. And again, Ruchell did not kill the judge. The guards killed everybody, and the Marin County sheriff. So it's political. What George talked about in his book, Blood Mines, talked about the prestige of power and New Africans challenging that. And again, the dynamics of what Jonathan did, you know, that's what they're looking at. And I want to make a footnote on Ruchell in the courtroom that day. There's a book called Soledad Melancholy. There's Ruchell on the far right. There's a book called Soledad Melancholy. And Ruchell, during the political military move, some of the individuals in the move wanted to take a wife and husband and their child hostage. And Ruchell told them, no, let's don't do that. Let's don't do that. And we pointed that out to the governor's legal staff. And so, yeah, it's definitely 100% political. We don't want this man out of prison, but we feel that if we can bombard this governor, don't know if he's gonna run or not, but maybe we can get one of those, I hate to use the word Christmas clemencies at the end of the year. We're currently, no, we did, because Angela Davis wasn't speaking up about Ruchell, right? We're gonna have a virtual rally on the 19th of March, 2 days after Ruchell's birthday. And Angela decided that she's going to be a part of that. And we were happy about that because Angela has that voice that she can carry, you know, talking about her co-defendant, Ruchell Magee. There was a political prisoner virtual rally February the 1st. And this is the first time that I've heard Angela speak about Ruchell in years, right? It was short, but the fact that she spoke about it, the fact that she's going to be part of the virtual rally is positive for us. And if we can get her to speak up more about Ruchell, I think we can put his case out there, especially in California. California tends to be sometimes overlooked in terms of political prisoners. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not in competition with that. Matter of fact, Jalil Boutakin was on that virtual rally, and he spoke about Ruchell for about 15 minutes. And we want to get brother out. Brother essentially has been locked up for 67 years if you don't count the 3 months that he was out of prison when he came to California, 63.
All right. And thanks a lot for that.
Thank you.
And we're going to go to Brother Hembrick, Brother Joe.
Yes, sir. Yeah, appreciating Brother Harold with all the information you were given. Seems like all this, you know, we just had someone allegedly of African descent in the White House. Seemed like a pardon or something would have been given. You know what I mean?
Right.
Brother been in that long, man.
Yeah,
To say I don't think of too much that he did for our people anyway while I was in there, but he could have slid that one on through.
that's right.
Spent that much time in there, my goodness.
Well, it was Obama couldn't do a pardon for a state crime. He was charged with state, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Because he did his time in California prison. Is that correct?
Yeah, his
state. So it took the governor. The governor
Yeah.
took part.
Yeah, his charges. Yeah, his charges in Louisiana, the state, and the charges in California, state charge. But again, Ruchell did not murder anybody, if you will. He's only in there, if you will, for kidnapping. And again, in our research, the average time in California is 45 years for murder. And here you have a man that 83 in March, you know, so we're pushing that. And again, hopefully we can, we have a lot of young people in the coalition. Matter of fact, they're the ones that developed the website. And we're trying to see if we can get one of their generation's celebrity, if you will, to speak out about Ruchell. What's her name? Rihanna? Yeah, the hip hop artist Rihanna. She spoke out. I forgot the sister's name, little young sister that killed a trick in Kentucky, I believe. And Rihanna spoke up about her case, and it just blew up in terms of the attention, right? And little sister was released from prison. I can't think of her name right now.
Breonna Taylor was the girl.
Yeah, there you go.
In Kentucky, Louisville.
Yeah.
No, not.
Right.
But you have some more questions?
No. So is this case dependent on the California state courts or the Louisiana or both?
This case is California, and one of the things Ruchell is focusing on is again Los Angeles. Matter of fact, most of his focus has been on Los Angeles because again, his name is Ruchell Cinque Magee, and he's basing his case on the right to rebel, right? The right to get away. And as he states over and over, he said that one of the things that they were doing during the August 7th move was to find a radio station. And he wanted to talk about the illegality of him being held in prison because of this conviction down here in Los Angeles. Once again, he was charged with alleged robbery of a $10 bag of marijuana and kidnapping of a musician who we knew or knows if he's still alive. This musician talks about the fact that he didn't outright say it in court, but they were in competition over a woman at a nightclub, you know? And we suspect that 3 months into California, Los Angeles, because LAPD beat him when they arrested him, right? Our suspicion of that is because they had his record in Louisiana, the reason why they moved on him like that for the $10 bag of marijuana and the alleged kidnap of somebody he knew, that this so-called kidnap, the car they were in did not move anywhere. But anyway, we suspect that 1963 Los Angeles police were like, man, this dude was charged with the attempted rape of a white woman, right? So let's punish him. Again, this white woman was married. She was 23 years old. And at that time, the brother from Franklinton probably knows this. At that time, all of us, at that time, Africans couldn't testify in defense of Africans if the situation was involving white people. But his cousins insist, and I believe that Ruchell knew the woman.
You have any more questions, Joe?
No, that was the mom.
All right, brother Rahh, are you available?
Yes, I just wanted to ask him a few questions about what I was sharing on the screen. Is this this right here? Is this the website?
That's the website.
Okay, good, good. So people can still sign the petition?
Yeah, and if you would, could you sign, because it's two petitions, could you sign the letter to the governor and the petition that goes directly to the governor? When you go to sign the petition, you'll see both of them. There it is, Action Network. It goes directly to the governor. If you can scroll down. And you can also write Ruchell. You know, we're asking people, don't be political, just be contact the district attorney and contact the governor's office. Is the number there? Yeah, we want people to call. Now I want to focus on calling this governor, and that's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And again, we want people to be direct and to the point, clemency, right? And there's the petition to sign the .org, change.org petition. And if you want to make a donation, that's the donation button.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, well, good. Now,
No.
So you were saying that he had charges of kidnapping, and it wasn't during the trial when Jonathan Jackson went into there, and that wasn't the kidnapping charges?
No, he had kidnapping charges here in LA, the alleged kidnapping and robbery of this musician for the $10 bag of weed. Again, Ruchell knew his cousin and him knew the person, and we researched it. And there's a great possibility that Ruchell knew this individual and they were competing over this woman. They were at a nightclub, right? And he was convicted of kidnapping down here, but there's a lot of legal questions to the supposed kidnapping down here and how that trial was conducted. Again, without a doubt, I would imagine, and we believe, I should say, that these Franklinton minded LAPD, the district attorneys, and all those in 1963, they weren't looking at the kidnapping of this drug dealer. And I say drug dealer facetiously, but they weren't concerned about it. We believe they looked at the fact that Ruchell was charged with alleged attempted, meaning he didn't rape the white woman. He attempted to rape this 23-year-old married white woman. Now, I wanted to put another footnote on that. This happened in August of 1955, the year Emmett Till was tortured and lynched. And so that was the atmosphere in which he was under when he was captured, if you will, for this alleged attempted kidnapping of a 23-year-old white woman who was married. And Ruchell was just 16 years old at the time.
Okay, now this picture right here,
Uh-huh.
is this the picture you were speaking of, the famous picture?
Yeah, there's several others, but if you look to the far right, that's Ruchell.
With his hand on the judge, right?
Yeah, and
Well,
the judge, uh-huh.
This was a hostage situation, right?
Right. And as I said, the guards, they have the policy, no hostages, everybody dies. Now, we found a transcript of Angela Davis's trial, and it had a sergeant, somebody with San Quentin, right? The attorney asked him a litany of questions concerning hostages, right? And he started off by saying, and I don't think I have the right numbers, but I'll put it out there. He said, what if it was 5 women, 2 children, and the guards? Would this policy exist then? Yes, it will. So the attorney asked about 4 questions concerning, but he kept raising the number of children, women, etc. And this attorney, I meant to say this San Quentin sergeant, he said, yeah, that's our policy. Meaning, yeah, we'll kill kids and whoever else, you know, if they happen to be in the way.
Heavyweight.
Yeah, that's the lawyer that did that he was a famous, I want to say Leo Branton. There was another new African lawyer, but I'm going to take a chance to say Leo Branton, who was famous down in Los Angeles, not famous, known to be a good lawyer in Los Angeles. And I think Leo Branton asked those questions, but those are from some actual transcripts that were in Angela's case. In addition, there's a speech that she made here at the Embassy Auditorium, and when she was freed in 1972, when she talked about this. You know, Sergeant Mooney, that's his name. And yeah, so hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Professor Rahh?
Yeah, okay. Appreciate what's been said, if I understand correctly. First of all, I want to say asante, which is thank you for your work and your efforts to,
Asante to you, yeah.
And the coalition's effort to bring this case to light and to, and you know, you know, it's hard to get people to work for other people other than themselves.
Right.
And when you doing what you're doing. I already signed the petition. I'm gonna have to go back and see which one I signed. And I did give a small donation, but I'm gonna try to get some more. The questions I have are just to bring out more information. Now you say y'all are planning a rally.
Yeah, webinar. Actually, it's going to be a webinar, but we're calling it a virtual.
A webinar.
Webinar, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's going to be when?
That's going to be March 19th, 12 Pacific time.
Is that a Saturday?
Yes. And you can find it on Twitter and Facebook at the Coalition to Free Ruchell Magee.
Okay. Anyone besides Angela is going to be speaking?
Jaleel Mutakeen is going to speak.
Who's that?
Jaleel Mutakeen, who was released about almost a year ago. He was in what was called there's an action the Black Liberation Army carried out back in the day. He was freed about, like I said, a little over, less than a year ago. Then we're gonna have Chairman Fred Hampton. And let's see, we're gonna have, we're trying to get Dr. Gerald Horn to speak. We haven't got a confirmation yet. We have a lot of speakers. Thank you. I'll send you an email of list of speakers that are going to be on the webinar, right?
Yeah. Now, the other question is, at the courthouse, George Jackson wasn't there. Is that correct?
No, George wasn't there.
So what, did they give Jonathan misinformation, or he was just gonna hold them people until they released George?
Right. There's also the story, if you will, that they were going to take off a plane. At that time, people were doing that, right? And land in a country to get asylum, right? But overall, they were bringing attention to the Soledad brothers and the injustice of what was happening. Now, I'll give you an example of the Soledad brothers case. One of the major evidence that they had on George at the time was he was the only one that could have done it. You know. Eventually, Fleeta Drumgo and John Cluchette, they were freed. The Soledad brothers were acquitted. And Comrade George was assassinated August 21st, 1971. And all right, the alleged reason was he had a gun, right? Hidden in his natural, the most watched prisoner in the state of California at that time, handcuffed, shackled at the legs as well, coming back from a visit in San Quentin, allegedly pulled the 9mm, which is about what, 2 pounds, 3 ounces, 5 ounces, pulled out the 9mm out of his natural and start shooting guards. And then he made a desperate move, they say, to jump a 14, 15-foot wall in San Quentin. Again, he was the most watched prisoner in the state of California. George was very brilliant in terms of the way he organized in prison. He was well respected by not just African prisoners. George was respected across the line, you know. And so again, Jonathan, he was bringing attention to the case. And it was, like he said, free the Soledad brothers by 12:30. Yeah, there's Comrade George, Fleeta, and John Cluchette. John is the only remaining living person.
Now, the other question is, at the time that, according to they made a movie about this, and they had Rosalind Cash and Bernie Casey,
right,
played George and thing. But let me just get back to this question. I think they said he was coming from a visit with his attorney.
right.
And they accused the attorney of getting them the gun. They never could. I don't know what happened to that case.
Well, the attorney went underground, and he was captured maybe in the late 80s, I think, 87, and went to trial and was acquitted. Now, there was a woman that was with them. I can't remember her name. Her first name might have been Vanetta. And she allegedly brought in a tape recorder, right, in the high security San Quentin prison with a gun in it, right? And the prosecutor, the police, nobody talks about her. Nobody, in terms of, I shouldn't say nobody, but the powers that be, they don't say anything about her. Nothing. It's mystery, and that's not conspiracy talk. That's real. Again, a good book to read is Soledad Melancholy. It came out in the 70s. And he went into extensive research on her and nothing. But now, I was telling some people the other day, we went to a screening of the movie Malcolm X. And, you hear these people talking about what's wrong with our democracy. As far as Trump, right? What's happening to your democracy, like El-Haj Malik El-Sabaz? There's never been no democracy for us. Political assassinations, and I'm just talking about the late 60s, 70s. Political assassinations have always existed on African freedom fighters here in this country, this place, I should say. Just recently, El-Haj Malik Shabazz, all these so-called, although they're dead, so-called assassins were exonerated in, I think, late last year. They were exonerated for the alleged assassination of El-Haj Malik El-Sabaz, Malcolm X. And then I want to say also, if you ever, well, you can Google it. There it is. That's right. If you ever Google in Gene Roberts, you slash Malcolm X rally, wherever where he was assassinated. He was giving Malcolm artificial respiration, right? And he was a member, and it's not conspiracy, he was a member of the New York Police Intelligence Division called BOSS, Bureau of Special Operations, Special Services, if you will. There was a conspiracy trial waged against the Panthers in 1970. They were all freed in 72, I believe. He was the main undercover operator for BOSS, who helped set the New York 21 up. They were all freed. Jury didn't deliberate over an hour. Assata Shakur, who's still alive, she was not necessarily a part of the New York 21, but they moved on a case on her around that.
She's in Cuba.
Yeah, that's right. Also, Feeney Shakur, Tupac's mom, she was in the New York 21. In fact, she was pregnant, and she birthed Tupac into this world while she was locked up. So, yeah, political assassination in this country is nothing new. And I'm relating that to you watching it. I call them the public relations firms for white supremacy, the news media. What is wrong with our democracy? Your democracy has been doing what it's been doing since time immemorial. I mean, yeah, well, immoral too. Immemorial. You've been doing attacking people and attacking countries and killing people. You definitely enslaved people for 480 something years. And you're the smallest country in the world, well, one of the smallest countries in the world, 5% of the world's population. You had more people in prison than anybody in the world, and on probation and on parole.
All right. Another question. When Brother Ruchell was arrested in LA and accused of the weed and kidnapping robbery for the $10, wasn't his cousin with him or somebody else was with him?
Yeah, his cousin was with him.
What happened to him?
His cousin was convicted, but his cousin was paroled. Yeah.
You know how much time he did?
I don't recall, but I don't think it was over 5 years, if that.
Okay.
They separated, they severed the trials, right? But I don't think it was over 5 years. Again, and I'm speculating, wish we could get information on that some kind of way. We're trying.
Oh, no, I'm just asking if you knew. The other thing is that at the time of the courthouse incident, Ruchell got shot, didn't he? And got
That's
wounded?
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So how did that go? Because they said he was in the hospital for a little while.
Yeah, he recovered well, and in fact, there are some of the photos, if you see them, Ruchell in court, those photos were like in the late 1970s or in early 71, when Angela Davis was still in the trial, so he was able to move around. Go ahead.
And you were, and according to some of the writings that was posted, he became very active in the prison, helping people with their cases.
That's right.
He helped win a lawsuit for somebody where he was beaten or killed by the police guards, and got a settlement for the family. Will you talk about that for a minute? If you have any?
Okay, that's true. I can't remember the brother's name right now. But he defended, he didn't defend him. He won a lawsuit for the family of the brother that was tear gassed in San Quentin. Yeah, so Ruchell, legally, he has a great legal mind. Some of the arguments and petition writs that he did, you would think that it was Johnny Cochran or somebody, you know, some of the writs that he did. They just denied a writ he did in, what was that, January 2020. It was to the California Supreme Court. And again, it's political. This man was accused of being involved in one of the most dynamic political military moves in the spirit of Nat Turner.
Excuse me, can you repeat that terminology, the writ?
Writ, yeah, writ of habeas corpus, where you have roughly 60 days to file an appeal on a conviction, right? And if that 60 days lapse, then you can only file a writ of habeas corpus to point out discrepancies, prejudice, and different illegal things that happen during a trial, in addition to new information that may come up, like somebody confess, I did it, right? And the writ is based on that, you know. So the writ essentially says, I'm filing to get a rehearing on my case, right? And most writs fail because the courts in California especially, they like with the judges in terms of Ruchell, they rarely grant rehearings or recalls on sentencing, you know.
Then in the other, as we conclude, as we, first of all, again, we're gonna, this week gonna be on, this information is gonna be on YouTube, and then I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post the flyer on my Facebook and try to get as many people interested. If 58 years is enough for anybody.
That's right.
No matter what they did, you know, I mean, unless he was a psychopath and out killing people. But he's done a lot of good work in prison, according to the writings, and helping a lot of the brothers file their papers and just he's been there, for a good while, so he has the respect and leadership. What about the BGF? What role did they play? The Black Guerrilla Family.
Black Guerrilla Family. A lot of people think that the Black Guerrilla Family was formed during the time of George Jackson, right? Which it wasn't. George talked about, I met the Black Guerrillas, Tony Gibson, etc., right? W.L. Nolan. But as far as all the things I researched and being involved at that time, well, matter of fact, I didn't hear about the Black Guerrilla Family until like the late 70s, early 80s, right? So I don't think that there was any connection. Well, I know there was no interconnection with Ruchell and the Black Guerrilla Family. Again, that came about when my first awakening to that was in the late 70s, maybe early 80s, the Black BGF, Black Guerrilla Family.
Okay. Ruchell talked a lot about slavery.
Yes.
And equating the prison as a slave institution. Could you just elaborate on that, and then we'll see if there's any closing questions by any of the panelists, and then Brother Rashakir tell us about next Wednesday, about this coming Wednesday. But go ahead.
Okay, well, Ruchell says 400 years of slavery then, 400 years of slavery then, slavery now. Again, Ruchell based his move on August 7th on Cinque and Tume, who escaped. Well, they carried out a military action on the slave ship that they were on. I hate to use the word slave, but for a lack of a better word. And they commandeered the ship, and they ended up near Cuba. And they were captured, and they were brought to the United States, this place. And after years of going through the courts, the United States Supreme Court ruled that Cinque and Tume and his comrades had the right to rebel because they were slaves and they were captured as slaves. So Ruchell Magee bases his case on the fact that because of the Los Angeles conviction, the illegal conviction in Los Angeles and the discrepancies, a whole lot that went on during that trial here in Los Angeles, he contends legally that he had a right to rebel. He wasn't a part of the original, well, let me clarify that. A lot of people say that there was supposed to be somebody up there with Jonathan, right? I believe if there was somebody to be up there with Jonathan, Jonathan would be alive today because somebody would have told him. I think he carried that action, just reading his brother, the way his brother wrote. Nobody knew. So Ruchell didn't know about the rebellion, right? But let's think about it. With his case, all of them, James McClain, William Christmas, with the way they were treated in prison, they saw his brother come in the courtroom and they said, those that want to be free, I'm handing you weapons. And they took the choice, you know, and only mistake they may have made is they underestimated the viciousness of the Cinque guards who didn't care about a judge, you know, or anybody else.
All right. Wait a minute. Again, we want to thank you for the
Thank you, brother.
excellent presentation. I'm gonna go around again. Machinda, you have any closing comments? Are you still there?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, brother. And
Thank you, brother.
I'll be doing some more research on it.
Okay.
And again, thank you.
All right.
Brother Machinda. Brother Good Doctor.
Same with Brother Machinda, yeah, get information. Just one question. Karen Bass and all these other people, have you reached out to them, see if they'd said anything, or are you looking for, 'cause I'm pretty sure Newsom's gonna try to run again. Have you tried looking to see who, is gonna run up against him, reaching out to see who's gonna be the new governor? And that's it, Karen Bass, and reaching out further to see if anybody else gonna run for the governor, reaching out to them, any front runners.
Yeah, we have reached out to them. We haven't gotten a response back. We've sent emails out to Karen Bass and others, and we haven't gotten a response back. And
Good effort.
Yeah, if they could speak out and put the word out there, yes. Can I ask a quick question? The brother that teaches for LAUSD, what school are you at? I'm not being too personal.
I'm retired. I was at, if you're talking to me, I was at Centennial.
Oh, you Compton, okay.
But
Oh.
that folks from Fremont, Manual, and places you talked about. And I also got to give props to my project, Normont Terrace. I grew up in Normont Terrace project.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Shoot, I remember down there at the hamburger stand, these brothers killed this white boy. They've been out a long time.
Right. Yeah.
You know, when you speak to the power structure and, they get a thing on you, they ain't gonna cut it loose like a bulldog on the bone.
That's right.
But it sounds like the brother's been steadfast in, what he's been doing since he's been locked up. So,
Yeah.
a lot get out by jumping, being Christians. They grab that Bible and can get out and go to a few Bible studies meetings.
Yeah, and brother Joe, you got any more comments?
No.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was talking to the brother then. But anyway, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Listen, Brother Chair, again, in conclusion, you got my number. If
Yes,
there's
sir.
anything we need to announce or anything that you want to appraise us of, and if you want to come back on the show again, just give us a call.
I sure will.
And if any of your panelists have anything else they want to add concerning political prisoners or just critical issues that the coalition is involved in.
Right.
And we're going to push the fundraiser and the petition signing as much as we can, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank us. All right. Main thing, let's call that governor. Let's keep him awake at night.
Yeah.
All right. All right, brothers.
Okay, Harold, you're gonna be on the CEN show too. So he's coming back, right, Brother Harold? The show I do on Wednesdays.
This Wednesday?
No, I'll give you a call because I think we scheduled you for a date on that show also. We could talk further about it and get more information if possible. And yeah, I appreciate this information. Very, very great information, and we all going to support what's
All
going
right.
on here. So on, let me share the screen. We got matter of fact, I'm not going to share it. On Wednesday, we have my youngest daughter coming on, and I'm gonna interview her, and I'm getting questions from members of the website and other people. So that should be interesting. She's about to go to college. She's got accepted to 4 different colleges so far. She's waiting on Long Beach State, and that's the school
Okay.
she wants to get in.
All
So
right.
that should be interesting. And you know, it's open to the public. Harold, you can come anytime. It's open.
Okay.
We're on at 6 on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Right.
You know, if you want to join us and you know, do what we do.
Okay.
So, each one teach one,
Each one teach one.
and Conscious Corner.
All right, Conscious Corner. Brother, I would like, how many daughters do you have?
I have five daughters.
Oh,
Oh, get it right, get it right.
hey,
Well, I got one is my stepdaughter, but I got 5.
that's all right. That's your spiritual. Look,
That's right.
bless your heart. I got 4.
Okay.
So you know what it is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end it.
All right.